Kang Tae-ho stood in the corner of the grand hall and watched the aliens move around him. The diplomatic banquet was full of strange creatures from dozens of different worlds. Some had scales. Some had feathers. Some had skin that glowed in soft colors. Tae-ho had been working as a human diplomat for 3 years now, but he still felt amazed every time he saw so many species together in one place. The banquet hall was on Station Harmony, a massive space station that floated between 3 different star systems. It was neutral ground, where species came to trade, talk, and make deals. Tae-ho's job was simple. He had to make friends, shake hands, and make sure nobody started a war. Tonight was supposed to be easy. Just smile, eat some strange food, and go home. He picked up a drink from a passing server. The liquid was blue, and it bubbled gently. He had no idea what it was, but it tasted like sweet berries. Not bad at all. A large alien with 4 arms walked up to him. This was Ambassador Grell from the Torvak Empire. His skin was gray and rough like stone. His eyes were small and black. "Human Tae-ho," Grell said in his deep voice. "You stand alone again. Is this a human custom?" Tae-ho smiled. "No, Ambassador. I just enjoy watching the crowd sometimes." Grell made a sound that might have been a laugh. "You humans are strange. Always watching. Always thinking. Tell me, do you have a mate?" Tae-ho almost choked on his drink. The question came out of nowhere. "A mate?" "Yes. A partner. Someone to share your life with." Grell tilted his large head. "Among my people, a male your age would have 3 or 4 mates by now." 3 or 4? Tae-ho laughed nervously. "No, I don't have anyone. I'm completely unattached." He said the words loudly because the music in the hall was loud. He did not think anyone else was listening. He was wrong. Across the room, 3 figures turned their heads at the exact same moment. They were tall and beautiful, with pale blue skin and long silver hair. Their eyes were large and bright purple. They wore matching white dresses that seemed to float around them like clouds. These were the Villani sisters. Tae-ho had seen them before at other events. The Villani were a peaceful species known for their art, their music, and their very unusual marriage customs. He did not know much about those customs. He had never needed to know. The 3 sisters looked at each other. Then they looked at Tae-ho. Then they started walking toward him. Tae-ho did not notice them coming. He was still talking to Ambassador Grell about human relationships. "So humans only take 1 mate?" Grell asked with surprise. "How limiting." "Well, some cultures on Earth practiced." Tae-ho stopped talking because someone grabbed his left arm. He turned and saw one of the Villani sisters holding on to him. She was the tallest of the 3. Her face was serious and her grip was strong. Hello?" Tae-ho said. Before he could say anything else, someone grabbed his right arm. It was another sister. This one was smiling widely, and her purple eyes sparkled with excitement. The 3rd sister, the shortest one, stood in front of him. She looked shy, but she reached out and placed her hand on his chest, right over his heart. "We accept," the tall one said. "We are honored," the smiling one added. The shy one just nodded quickly. Tae-ho stared at them. His brain was not working properly. "You accept what?" Ambassador Grell made that laughing sound again. "Oh, this is wonderful. I have not seen a Villani claiming in many years." "A claiming?" Tae-ho's voice went high. "What is a claiming?" Tae-ho's voice went high. The tall sister spoke. Her voice was calm and clear. "You announced that you are unattached. In our culture, this is a formal declaration. You are telling everyone that you seek partners. We have chosen to answer your call." "My call?" Tae-ho looked around the room. Many aliens had stopped what they were doing. They were all watching him now. "I didn't call anyone. I was just talking to the ambassador." The smiling sister laughed. It was a beautiful sound, like bells ringing. "You spoke the sacred words in a public gathering. Under Villani law, this is binding." "Binding?" Tae-ho felt dizzy. "What do you mean binding?" The shy sister finally spoke. Her voice was soft and quiet. "It means we are yours now. And you are ours." Taeho's legs felt weak. This could not be happening. He had just made a simple joke. He had just said he was single. How did that turn into some kind of alien marriage proposal? Wait, wait, wait. He tried to step back, but the sisters held him firmly. "There has been a huge misunderstanding. I'm human. I don't know anything about Villani customs. I didn't mean to propose to anyone." The tall sister tilted her head. "You did not know?" "No, I had no idea." The three sisters looked at each other. Something passed between them. Some silent communication that Taeho could not understand. Then the tall one looked back at him. "This changes nothing." The words were spoken. The claim was made. "We have accepted. Under galactic law, Villani customs are recognized and protected." Ambassador Grell nodded his large head. "She speaks the truth, human. I witnessed the declaration myself. It is legal and proper." Taeho wanted to scream. He wanted to run away, but he was a diplomat. He had training. He took a deep breath and tried to think clearly. "Okay," he said slowly. "Let's talk about this. Can we go somewhere quiet?" The smiling sister clapped her hands together. "Yes, we should go to a private room. There is much to discuss." The shy sister nodded eagerly. The tall sister released his arm but stayed close to his side. "Very well. We will talk. But know this. Human. We do not make this choice lightly. We have watched you for many months. We know you are kind. We know you are honest. When you spoke the sacred words, we knew it was fate." Taeho swallowed hard. They had been watching him? For months? He looked at the three beautiful alien sisters. They looked back at him with hope and determination in their purple eyes. He was in big trouble. As they walked out of the banquet hall together, Taeho heard Ambassador Grell laughing behind them. Other aliens whispered and pointed. By tomorrow, everyone on Station Harmony would know what happened. The human diplomat had accidentally proposed to three alien sisters, and they had said yes. Taeho wondered if it was too late to ask for a transfer back to Earth. Probably yes. Definitely yes. The doors closed behind them, and Taeho prepared himself for the strangest conversation of his life. The private room was small but comfortable. Soft lights glowed from the walls, and the furniture was made of some kind of smooth white material. Taeho sat on one side of a round table. The three sisters sat on the other side, watching him with their large purple eyes. He finally learned their names. The tall, serious one was Lyra. She was the eldest sister. The smiling, playful one was Mira. She was the middle sister. The shy, quiet one was Nira. She was the youngest. Taeho rubbed his face with his hands. He was very tired, and the night was just getting started. "Let me understand this correctly," he said. "In Villani culture, when someone says they are unattached, it means they want to find partners?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. The word unattached has deep meaning for our people. It is not just about being single. It is a declaration of readiness. A statement that your heart is open, and you are searching for connection. And when you grabbed my arms, we were answering your call," Mira said happily. "We were saying that we wish to be attached to you. To join our lives with yours. To join our lives with yours," Taeho groaned. "In human culture, saying you're unattached just means you don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend. It's not a proposal. It's just information." The three sisters looked at each other. Nira's cheeks turned a darker shade of blue, which Taeho guessed meant she was embarrassed. "We did not know this," Lyra said slowly. "Human culture is not well documented in our records, so this was all a mistake," Taeho said with relief. "A big cultural misunderstanding. We can explain this to everyone and cancel the whole thing." Silence filled the room. Mira's smile faded. Nira looked down at the table. Even Lyra's serious face seemed to crack a little. "It is not that simple," Lyra finally said. "The claiming has already been witnessed. Under Villani law, once a claiming is accepted, It cannot be easily broken. What happens if we try to break it? Lyra took a deep breath. We would be shamed. Our family would lose honor. No Villani male would ever consider us for partnership again. We would be marked as rejected ones for the rest of our lives. Tejo felt his stomach drop. He did not want to hurt these women. They had done nothing wrong. They had just followed their own customs. There must be some way, he said. Some exception for cultural differences? Mira shook her head. The Galactic Council recognized Villani customs 200 years ago. Our claiming laws apply to all species. It was meant to protect us from being tricked by other races. But I'm the one who was tricked. Tejo stopped himself. That was not fair. I'm sorry. That came out wrong. Nobody tricked anyone. This is just a terrible accident. Nira spoke for the first time since they sat down. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Do you find us so terrible? The question hit Tejo like a punch to the chest. He looked at the three sisters. They were beautiful. They were clearly intelligent. And right now, they looked scared and hurt. No, he said honestly. I don't find you terrible at all. You're all very lovely. This is just very sudden. I met you 20 minutes ago. We have known you for much longer, Lyra said. We have attended many events where you were present. We have watched how you treat others. How you speak to servants and ambassadors with the same respect. How you listen when others talk. How you always try to help. You noticed all that? Mira smiled again, but it was a smaller smile now. Villani, do not choose partners quickly. We observe. We study. We make sure. When you spoke the sacred words tonight, we already knew everything we needed to know about your character. Tejo did not know what to say. These women had been planning this for months. They had chosen him on purpose. And he had accidentally given them the signal they were waiting for. I need time, he said. I need to think about all of this. Lyra nodded. That is reasonable. But you should know that time is limited. Other species will soon hear about the claiming. Some of them may challenge it. Challenge it? What does that mean? It means they may try to take us from you, Nira said quietly. Or try to take your place. Tejo blinked. Someone would fight me for you? Not someone, Mira said with a worried look. The Korath delegation arrived yesterday. Their leader has been trying to force our father into an alliance through marriage. If he learns that you have claimed us but do not truly want us, he will see an opportunity. Who are the Korath? The three sisters shivered at the same time. It was the first time Tejo had seen them look truly afraid. They are warriors, Lyra explained. Brutal and cruel. They believe the strong should rule the weak. They have been expanding their territory for decades. Our world is near their border. They want to control us, and marriage would give them that control? Villani marriage bonds are sacred, Nira said. Whoever marries into a Villani family gains rights over that family's resources and land. If the Korath prince marries us, our entire planet falls under their influence. Tejo sat back in his chair. This was not just about an awkward situation anymore. This was politics. This was power. These three sisters were not just looking for love. They were running from something terrible. So when you claimed me, he said slowly, it was partly to protect yourselves from the Korath? Lyra met his eyes directly. Yes. We will not lie to you. Protection was part of our reason. But only part. We truly do admire you. We truly do believe you would be a good partner. We did not trick you on purpose. But we did hope that tonight might bring us together. Mira nodded. We were going to approach you differently. We were going to introduce ourselves properly and let things develop naturally. But then you said those words. And we acted on instinct. We are sorry, Nira added. We should have controlled ourselves better. Tejo looked at the three sisters. They were sorry. They were scared. They were trapped in a situation that was spinning out of control, just like he was. He thought about what would happen if he rejected them. They would be shamed forever. The Korath would probably claim them. Their entire planet might suffer. He thought about what would happen if he accepted them. He would be married to 3 alien women he barely knew. His life would change completely. His career might be over. Neither option was good. "I need to contact my government," he said finally. "I need to tell them what happened. Maybe they can help find a solution." Lyra nodded. "That is wise. But please, do not take too long. The Korath prince is named Vorn. He is patient, but he is also watching. When he makes his move, we will need to be ready." Teho stood up from the table. The 3 sisters stood with him. "I won't abandon you," he said. The words came out before he could stop them. "Whatever happens, I won't just leave you to face this alone. That's not who I am." For the first time, all 3 sisters smiled at him together. It was a beautiful sight. "We know," Mira said softly. "That is why we chose you." Teho left the room with his mind spinning. He had come to the banquet expecting a boring evening. Instead, he had gained 3 alien fiancés and a dangerous enemy. Tomorrow, he would figure out what to do next. Tonight, he just needed to breathe. 3 days passed after the banquet. Teho contacted Earth and explained what happened. His superiors were shocked at first. Then they were amused. Then they became very serious when they learned about the Korath threat. The Korath Empire was dangerous. Earth had avoided conflict with them for years by staying out of their way. If a human diplomat became involved with Villani politics, things could get complicated. But Earth also saw an opportunity. The Villani were peaceful and wealthy. An alliance with them through marriage would benefit humanity. Teho's superiors told him to handle the situation carefully but did not tell him to end it. So Teho spent his days learning about Villani culture. He studied their history, their customs, and their laws. Lyra, Mira, and Nira helped him. They met every day in the same private room on Station Harmony. Teho learned that Villani women often chose their own partners. The men did not propose. The women did. This was why his accidental declaration had triggered such a quick response. The sisters had been waiting for a sign, and he had given them one. He also learned that Villani marriages were not like human marriages. Partners did not just share a home. They shared everything. Thoughts, feelings, dreams. The Villani had a weak telepathic bond that grew stronger with emotional closeness. If Teho truly bonded with the sisters, he might eventually feel what they felt. This scared him a little. But it also made him curious. On the 4th day, everything changed. Teho was eating breakfast in his quarters when his door opened. A massive figure stepped inside without asking permission. It was the largest alien Teho had ever seen. He stood at least 7 feet tall. His skin was dark red and covered in thick scales. His eyes were yellow with black slits. Like a snake. 2 curved horns grew from his head. "You are the human," the creature said. His voice was deep and rumbling. Teho set down his food. "I am. And you must be Vorn." The Korath prince smiled. His teeth were sharp and white. "You know my name. Good. Then you know why I am here. You want the sisters. I want what should be mine." Vorn stepped closer. The floor shook slightly under his weight. "My people have negotiated with the Villani for 2 years. The marriage was almost complete. Then you appeared and ruined everything." Teho stood his ground. He was much smaller than Vorn, but he refused to show fear. "I didn't plan any of this. It was an accident." "I know. That makes it worse." Vorn's yellow eyes burned with anger. "A nobody human stumbles into something he does not understand and steals what belongs to me. It is insulting. The sisters don't belong to anyone. They made their own choice." Vorn laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. Choice. Such a weak concept. The strong take what they want. The weak give it to them. That is the only law that matters. Teho felt his heart beating fast. But he kept his voice calm. "That's not how things work on Station Harmony. There are rules here. Laws that everyone must follow. Yes, I know your laws. Vorn's smile grew wider. That is why I am not here to kill you. I am here to challenge you. Challenge me? Under Volani custom, when a claiming is disputed, the rivals may compete for the right to bond. Physical contests. Mental puzzles. Tests of character. The winner keeps the claimed ones. The loser walks away with nothing. Teho's mind raced. He had read about this in his studies. The Volani trials. They were ancient traditions designed to prove a partner's worth. But they were supposed to be fair contests between equals. You're twice my size, Teho said. Any physical contest would be murder, not competition. The trials are designed by neutral judges, Vorn replied. They will make things fair. Or at least, they will try. He laughed again. Do you accept the challenge, human? Or do you admit that you are too weak to keep what you claimed? Teho knew what would happen if he refused. The sisters would be shamed for choosing a coward. Vorn would use political pressure to force the marriage anyway. Their planet would fall under Korath control. He also knew what would happen if he lost. The same result, but with more pain along the way. But if he won, I accept, Teho said. Vorn looked surprised for a moment. Then he nodded with something that might have been respect. You are brave, human. Stupid, but brave. The trials will begin tomorrow at sunset. 3 contests. 3 chances to prove yourself. I will see you there. The Korath prince turned and walked out. Teho let out a breath he did not know he was holding. An hour later, he told the sisters what happened. They were terrified. You cannot fight him, Nira said with tears in her eyes. He will hurt you. He will break you. The trials are supposed to be fair, Teho reminded her. Fair does not mean easy, Lyra said grimly. Vorn has competed in dozens of trials across many worlds. He has never lost. He knows how to twist the rules in his favor. Mira grabbed Teho's hands. Please, there must be another way. We can run. We can hide. We can go somewhere the Korath cannot reach. And leave your planet unprotected. Teho shook his head. I can't do that. I won't do that. Why? Lyra demanded. You barely know us. You did not choose this. Why would you risk your life for 3 women you met by accident? Teho looked at the 3 sisters. Over the past few days, he had learned so much about them. Lyra was strong and proud, but she carried a heavy burden of responsibility. Mira was cheerful and warm, always trying to make others smile, even when she was hurting inside. Nira was gentle and wise, seeing things that others missed. They were not just beautiful faces. They were real people with real hearts. And they needed help. Because it's the right thing to do, Teho said simply. Where I come from, we don't leave people behind. We don't let bullies win. We fight, even when the odds are against us. That's what being human means. The sisters stared at him. Something changed in their eyes. The fear was still there. But now, there was something else too. Hope. Belief. Trust. Lyra spoke first. Then we will help you prepare. We know the trials. We know what Vorn will try to do. Together, we might have a chance. Mira wiped her eyes. We will not let you face this alone. Nira took a deep breath and stood taller. We chose you because we believed in you. Now it is time to show you why. For the next 20 hours, they trained. Lyra taught Teho about Volani history and philosophy. Things that might appear in mental challenges. Mira taught him meditation techniques to stay calm under pressure. Nira taught him about Korath weaknesses, the things that made Vorn angry and careless. Teho did not sleep. He did not rest. He pushed his body and mind to their limits. When the sun set on Station Harmony the next day, he walked into the trial arena with the 3 sisters behind him. Thousands of aliens filled the viewing stands. Vorn waited in the center, his red scales gleaming under the lights. The judges announced the first trial. It was a test of endurance. Both competitors would hold heavy weights until one of them dropped. Teho looked at the weights. They were designed to be proportional to body size. His were smaller than Vorn's, but they would still be crushing. He picked them up. His arms screamed in protest. Vorn smiled and lifted his own weights like they were nothing. The trial had begun. The weights burned in Taeho's arms. Every muscle in his body screamed for relief. Sweat poured down his face and dripped onto the arena floor. He had been holding the heavy metal bars for 40 minutes now, and every second felt like an hour. Across from him, Vorn stood calmly. The Korath prince was breathing hard, but he showed no sign of dropping his weights. His yellow eyes watched Taeho with cruel amusement. "Give up, human," Vorn said. "Your tiny arms cannot last much longer. I can see them shaking." Taeho did not respond. He could not waste energy on words. He focused on his breathing, just like Mira had taught him. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Stay calm. Stay present. He thought about the sisters. He thought about their fear. He thought about what would happen to them if he failed. The weights stayed up. 50 minutes passed. Then, 60. The crowd grew restless. This was taking longer than anyone expected. Vorn's smile began to fade. His arms trembled slightly. The weights were getting heavy even for him. "You are stubborn," Vorn growled. "But stubborn is not the same as strong. You will break." Taeho looked directly into Vorn's eyes. And then, even though it cost him precious energy, he smiled. That small act of defiance made Vorn angry. The Korath prince snarled and shifted his weight. It was a tiny movement, but it was enough. One of his weights slipped. He caught it, but the sudden motion threw off his balance. He stumbled forward one step. The judges called out, "Movement violation. First trial goes to the human." The crowd exploded with noise. Some cheered. Some booed. Most just stared in shock. A human had beaten a Korath in a test of endurance. Taeho dropped his weights and collapsed to his knees. His arms felt like dead meat. But he had won. The sisters rushed to his side. Mira helped him stand while Nira gave him water. Lyra stood between him and Vorn, her eyes fierce and protective. "You cheated," Vorn snarled at the judges. "The weights were unequal. The weights were calibrated by neutral parties," the head judge replied calmly. "The trial was fair. The result stands." Vorn's red scales seemed to darken with rage. He pointed one clawed finger at Taeho. "This changes nothing. There are still 2 trials left. You cannot win them all." The second trial was announced. It was a test of the mind. Both competitors would be given complex puzzles to solve. The first one to complete all puzzles would win. This was where Taeho expected to fail. Vorn had been educated by the finest teachers in the Korath Empire. He had studied warfare, politics, and strategy for his entire life. What chance did a human diplomat have against that? But when the puzzles appeared, Taeho understood what the judges had done. These were not Korath puzzles. They were not human puzzles either. They were Vallani puzzles, designed around Vallani philosophy and culture. Taeho had spent the last 4 days learning everything he could about Vallani ways. Vorn had spent 2 years ignoring them. The first puzzle asked about the meaning of connection. Vorn stared at it with confusion. Taeho wrote his answer in seconds. The second puzzle was about the nature of sacrifice. Vorn scribbled something angry and wrong. Taeho remembered what Nira had told him about Vallani beliefs and wrote the truth. The third puzzle was about love, what it meant to truly care for another person. Vorn did not even try to answer. He threw the puzzle across the arena in frustration. Taeho completed his answer and handed it to the judges. They reviewed it and nodded. Second trial goes to the human. 2 trials won. 1 more to go. But Taeho could see the danger in Vorn's eyes. The Korath prince was done playing fair. The third trial was different. It was a test of character. Each competitor would enter a special chamber and face their deepest fears. The one who emerged first would win. Taeho did not like the sound of this. Fears were personal, private. He did not want anyone to see what scared him most, but he had no choice. The chamber was dark inside. Taeho stepped through the door and felt reality shift around him. Suddenly, he was no longer on Station Harmony. He was standing on Earth. In his childhood home, in the kitchen where his mother used to cook, a woman stood at the stove. She turned around and smiled at him. It was his mother. She had died 5 years ago, but here she was, alive and warm and real. "Taeho," she said softly. "You came home." Tears filled his eyes. He wanted to run to her. He wanted to hold her and never let go. This was his deepest fear. Not death, not pain, loneliness. The fear of losing everyone he loved. "You don't have to leave again," his mother said. "You can stay here with me. Forget about the aliens. Forget about the sisters. Just stay." Taeho's feet would not move. Part of him wanted to stay so badly it hurt, but then he thought about Lyra, Mira, and Nira. They were waiting for him outside. They needed him. If he stayed in this dream, he would fail them, just like he had failed to be there when his mother got sick. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I love you, but I have to go." His mother's face changed. She looked sad but proud. "I know. That's my boy. Always putting others first." The vision faded. The chamber doors opened. Taeho stepped out into the arena. Tears still wet on his cheeks. The crowd was silent. Everyone was watching the other chamber. Vorn had not come out yet. Minutes passed, then more minutes. The judges began to whisper among themselves. Finally, the doors to Vorn's chamber burst open. The Korath prince stumbled out, his eyes wild and his body shaking. He looked broken. Whatever he had faced inside had destroyed something in him. "Third trial goes to the human," the head judge announced. "By completion of all 3 trials, Kang Taeho of Earth is declared the victor." The claiming stands. The bond is confirmed. The arena erupted. The sisters ran to Taeho and wrapped their arms around him. He held them close, feeling their hearts beat against his chest. They had won. Against all odds, they had won. But as Taeho looked over at Vorn, he saw something that worried him. The Korath prince was not angry anymore. He was smiling. A cold, cruel smile that promised revenge. Later that night, in the private room where everything had started, Lyra finally told Taeho the full truth. "Vorn did not just want us for political power," she said quietly. "He wanted us because we are special. Our family carries an ancient gift, a stronger telepathic bond than other Villani. Whoever bonds with us gains access to that power." Taeho frowned. "What kind of power?" "The power to feel what others feel across great distances," Mira explained. "To know when someone is lying. To sense danger before it comes. Vorn wanted to use us as weapons." Nira took Taeho's hand. "We did not tell you before because we were afraid. Afraid that you would see us as tools instead of people. Afraid that you would be just like him." Taeho squeezed her hand gently. "I'm not like him. I don't want your powers. I don't want to use you. I just want to help you." Lyra studied his face for a long moment. Then she nodded slowly. "We believe you. We have watched your heart during the trials. You are good, Kang Taeho. Better than we hoped." Mira leaned against his shoulder. "So, what happens now?" Taeho looked at the 3 sisters, his 3 fiancées, his 3 partners in a bond he had never expected. "Now we figure out how to make this work," he said. Together, outside the window, the stars burned bright in the endless dark of space. Somewhere out there, Vorn was planning his next move. The Korath Empire was watching. The galaxy was changing, but for now, in this small room, 4 hearts beat as one, and that was enough. 1 month had passed since the trials. Taeho's life had changed completely. He no longer lived alone in his small quarters. The sisters had moved in with him, and they had found a larger space on the residential level of Station Harmony. It was not fancy, but it was home. Every morning, Mira made breakfast. She was a terrible cook, but she tried so hard that nobody had the heart to complain. Lyra spent her days studying Earth languages and culture, preparing for a future where she might visit Taeho's homeworld. Nira painted pictures of stars and planets, filling their walls with beautiful art. Tejo still worked as a diplomat, but now his job had new meaning. He was not just representing Earth anymore. He was building bridges between 3 different worlds. Human, Villani, and whatever came next. The bond between them grew stronger every day. Not the telepathic bond that Lyra had mentioned. That took years to develop. But the emotional bond, the trust, the friendship, the love, yes, love. Tejo had not expected it. He had entered this relationship by accident, forced into it by words he did not understand. But somewhere along the way, something real had grown. He loved how Lyra protected everyone around her, even when she forgot to protect herself. He loved how Mira found joy in the smallest things, like the way sunlight looked through a window. He loved how Nira saw beauty in places others ignored. They were different from him in so many ways. Different species, different culture, different history. But they were also the same. They wanted to be happy. They wanted to be safe. They wanted to be loved. That was enough. That was everything. But peace never lasted long in the galaxy. The message arrived on a quiet evening. Tejo was sitting with the sisters, watching a human movie that Mira had discovered. She loved comedies. She laughed at jokes that were not even funny, and that made everyone else laugh too. The screen flickered. The movie stopped. A face appeared instead. It was Vorn. The Korath prince looked different than before. He had been broken after the trials, but now he seemed rebuilt. Harder, colder, more dangerous. Human, Vorn said. Did you think I had forgotten you? Tejo felt the sisters tense beside him. He kept his voice calm. I hoped you had moved on. Korath, do not move on. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Vorn's yellow eyes burned through the screen. You humiliated me in front of the entire station. You took what was meant to be mine. For that, there must be punishment. The trials were fair. I won according to the rules. Rules. Vorn spat the word like it was poison. Rules are chains that the weak use to hold back the strong. I am done with rules. Lyra stepped forward. If you attack us, the Galactic Council will respond. You cannot start a war over personal revenge. Vorn smiled. It was not a pleasant sight. I am not starting a war. Little Villani. I am ending one. My fleet is already on its way to your homeworld. In 3 days, your planet will belong to the Korath Empire. Your people will kneel before me, and you 3 will watch everything you love burn. The message ended. The screen went dark. Nira began to cry silently. Mira held her close. Lyra stood frozen, her face pale with shock. Tejo's mind raced. 3 days. That was not enough time for anyone to stop an entire fleet. The Galactic Council moved slowly. Earth was too far away to help. The Villani had no military force. They were alone. We have to run, Mira said desperately. We have to hide. Maybe if we disappear, Vorn will leave our world alone. He won't, Lyra said quietly. This is not just about us anymore. This is about his pride. He will destroy our world, whether we are there or not. Then what do we do? Nira asked through her tears. Tejo looked at his 3 partners. His 3 loves. They were counting on him. They believed in him. He could not let them down. We fight, he said. Lyra shook her head. With what? We have no ships. No weapons. No army. We have something better. Tejo stood up and walked to the window. The stars spread out before him like diamonds on black silk. We have the truth. Vorn is not attacking because of me. He is attacking because he wants your family's gift. If we can prove that to the galaxy, others will have to respond. But we have no proof, Mira said. We only have our word. Tejo turned to face them. Then we need to get proof. We need to show the galaxy what Vorn really wants. And I know exactly how to do it. The plan was dangerous. It was probably stupid, but it was the only chance they had. Teho requested a meeting with Vorn. Face to face. No armies. No weapons. Just two people talking. He said he wanted to negotiate the surrender of the sisters in exchange for the safety of their world. Vorn accepted. His pride would not let him refuse. They met on a small moon between Station Harmony and Villani space. The room was empty except for a table and two chairs. Vorn sat on one side. Teho sat on the other. Hidden cameras recorded everything. "You are smarter than I thought," Vorn said. "You know you cannot win. Surrendering the females is wise." Teho kept his expression neutral. "Before I agree, I need to understand something. Why do you want them so badly? There are millions of Villani women." "Why these three?" Vorn's eyes narrowed. "You know why. The telepathic gift," Teho said. "Their family's special power. That's what you've wanted all along. Not an alliance. Not marriage. Just their ability to read minds and sense lies." For a moment, Vorn said nothing. Then he laughed. "You think I will deny it?" "Yes. I want their power. With it, I could break any negotiation, win any battle, rule any enemy. The Korath Empire would become unstoppable. And the sisters themselves? What happens to them? They become tools." Vorn shrugged his massive shoulders. "Valuable tools. But tools nonetheless. Their feelings do not matter. Their wishes do not matter. Only their usefulness matters." Teho nodded slowly. "Thank you for being honest. Honesty costs nothing when you have already won." Vorn leaned forward. "Now, give me what I want." Teho smiled. It was the same smile he had given during the first trial. The smile that made Vorn angry and careless. "No." The word hung in the air between them. "No?" Vorn's scales darkened with rage. "You dare refuse me? This entire conversation has been broadcast to every major news network in the galaxy," Teho said calmly. "Everyone heard you admit your true plans. Everyone knows you want to enslave 3 women for their powers. The Galactic Council is already voting on sanctions against the Korath Empire. Your fleet has been ordered to turn back by your own government." End quote. Vorn stared at him. His yellow eyes widened with disbelief. Then they narrowed with hatred. "You tricked me. I learned from the best." Teho stood up from his chair. "It's over, Vorn. You lost. Again." For one terrible moment, Teho thought Vorn would attack him. The Korath Prince was bigger, stronger, and faster. He could kill a human with one blow, but Vorn did not move. He sat in his chair, shaking with rage, and watched as Teho walked out of the room. Outside, the sisters were waiting. They ran to him and held him tight. This time, there were no tears of sadness, only tears of relief and joy. "You did it," Lyra whispered. "You saved us. You saved our world." "We did it together," Teho said. "I couldn't have done any of this without you." Mira laughed through her tears. "You are the strangest human I have ever met." Nira smiled her small, shy smile. "You are also the best." Teho looked at his 3 partners, his 3 loves, his 3 reasons to be brave. "When this all started," he said, "I told you I was unattached. It was just a joke. Just a random comment at a party. I never expected it to change my life." "Do you regret it?" Lyra asked quietly. Teho pulled them closer. "All 3 of them. Together, not for 1 second," he said. "I am the luckiest man in the galaxy. And I am never letting you go." They stood there on the small moon, surrounded by stars and silence, 4 hearts beating as one, 4 souls connected by something stronger than politics or power. Love. Real love. The kind that crossed species and cultures and stars. The kind that made accidents into destiny. The kind that lasted forever. And somewhere far away, on a world of blue skies and silver trees, the Villani people celebrated their freedom. They would tell stories about the human who saved them. The human who joked that he was unattached. The human who found love in the strangest possible way. Those stories would be told for generations, and they would always begin the same way. Once, there was a human named Kang Tae-ho, who made a joke at the wrong time, in the wrong place, to the wrong people. And it was the best mistake he ever made.